I realized if those 4 words can have that kind of effect on a handful of students at a university level, how's the rest of the world going to respond to this? So I thought, well, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to take this to the people. I'm going to take this to the streets. And I thought, I'm going to create a shirt, and I'm going to put "We're All African" on it, and I'm going to unveil it at a conference I was speaking at that summer. And so there's a picture here of me wearing that shirt outside of the Alamo in San Antonio, Texas. And my brother Mark said, "What are you doing?" And I said, well, philosophers, I think, have a responsibility to be involved outside of the classroom. Philosophy doesn't stop when you leave the classroom. It's a part of your life. And if we can't carry on this dialogue with the rest of the world, with anybody on the streets, what are we doing? You know, are we just kind of cloistered away in the hallowed halls of academia and teaching a handful of students? No. I think we have a duty and an obligation as educators to continue that outside, to keep the conversation going. And he said, yeah, but you're going to do this in Texas. And I said, yeah. And he said, what good is a dead philosopher? Because they're not going to take to this too kindly.
Was there somehow some misunderstanding of what your shirt, was it sort of taken by some people that you were trivializing the plight of minority groups who had, you'd never got into that sort of thing?
No, it was in Texas. I had several responses, right? I had a few eye rolls and the odd, humph, and but African-American woman walked right up to me and said, "Where'd you get the shirt?" I said, "Well, I made it." "You made it? Why? What happened?" And I told her my story, and she said, "I would buy that. I would wear that." You're right. Of course, you're right. That's exactly, and that's how we battle racism.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, ultimately,
and so
that was your objective, is to say, we all have the same DNA.
That's
it.
We
all have common ancestor, and this is meant as a way to break down barriers.
That's exactly it. Through science. We can actually scientifically demonstrate to people that racism has to be a part of an indoctrination amongst groups. It has to be.
It's a construct.
Now, all of us, all humans, like all mammals, are inherently xenophobic, which is to fear foreignness, to fear that which doesn't belong to our group. That's a survival instinct. Originally, if you could imagine, Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal and other hominins had to worry, is this group in the distance friend or foe? They have no idea.
Anyone who's different.
Anyone.
They look different, they're just not from
They're just not from the group. So it's a natural human tendency to be wary at first, and then once you realize that there's a lack of threat, then that fear subsides, and then, right?
Especially when it comes to something like as simple as skin tone.
That's it.
Which is, it's such a superficial thing.
It is. When I saw the reaction I got from wearing the shirt, I commissioned a local artist to create these. So I have a number of different styles of this kind of "We're All African" shirt. And at the same time, Dr. Anne-Marie Zadlik was raising funds with her Bracelet of Hope campaign. And we met and we talked about what I had gone through. And so at all my public lectures and book tours and anything like that, I would always sell bracelets and give a percentage of proceeds from the shirts and posters to the Sepong AIDS clinic in Lesotho, Africa. So, and she's a Christian woman, and knowing that I was an atheist, it didn't matter to her.
No.
We had a common goal, which is for the betterment of others. I often, when I give lectures, talk, and especially critical thinking, the distinguishing of how difficult it is for humans to separate their limbic system or their emotional center of their brains from their prefrontal cortex or the more intellectual parts of their brains. In fact, that's one of the most difficult things to do in critical thinking because it requires fairness. You have to pull yourself back from your emotions to try to just deal with the evidence and deal with arguments and deal with structure and facts. And what I think was going on at an underlying level is when I said "we're all African," that brings in evolutionary theory. And then what that means is that humans are another ape. We're another African ape. And I think for some people, that's too much.
Mm-hmm.
We were specially created. You know, we are a divinity's greatest creation. To call us just another ape is to diminish us and to, you know, keep us down. And I'm sorry that in some people's eyes that diminishes them.